Hi guys, still me, still here. I hope that the audio is better. We've tried to address the audio issues. I'm hoping I'm coming to you clearer than I have been previously. Once again, thanks for all the feedback and comments and stuff like that. Much appreciated. And yeah, I'm going to be doing this one on my own today, just because of the audio issues and stuff like that. I just want to make sure everything's okay. But we'll be getting a guest back for the game on Tuesday with Sheffield Wednesday. But into the Derby game, and difficult one because once again we're happy in the sense that we're still unbeaten and there's no one else in the top 4 leagues of English football that can say that. That's got to be a positive, and it has been a successful start to the season. Having said that, we're better than Derby, and we didn't show it for large parts in the game. I thought the first half in particular was probably the worst half of the season in my opinion. Really were poor, and Derby were deservedly ahead at the break. We were sloppy, we didn't get going at all. Fortunately, we couldn't be any worse, and we weren't. Second half, I thought we were much better. It helps because they had the goal, they're sitting back, they're inviting us on, and all the substitutes that Jason made were bang on as well. Made some really good changes that impacted the game, obviously. So yeah, another game without defeat. Unfortunately, not the 3 points we wanted, but we are closing that gap slightly. And yeah, I think we haven't really hit top gear yet, and we still haven't lost a game. So I'm looking at it from a positive point of view, and that I think we're going to get better. We've got players like King, like Brooks, who we haven't seen, properly back at it yet. Jeff to return again, who's obviously been out for a bit. Still got Cameron Carter-Vickers to introduce to the side as well. So yeah, I think it's going to get better. So from that point of view, I'm quite excited. And once again, like I say, didn't lose the game. And the character show from the team, again, Watford, last-minute equaliser. Bristol City, late winner. And again, on Saturday against Derby, late leveller. So get into the player ratings, obviously, as always. Asmir Begovic in goal. And to be fair to him, I don't think he had an awful lot to do, even though we were, like I say, we weren't at it in the first half. Fortunately for us, Derby they looked like a team that, weren't playing with too much confidence, and they weren't punishing us for what was a really sloppy opening 45. So he didn't have a lot to do. The goal was unfortunate, scrappy from our point of view defensively, but it took a deflection. You can't blame Asmir for that. Distribution fine, so I'm really happy with Asmir so far this season. For the game, like I say, didn't really do much wrong, but didn't have loads of worldly saves to pull off, and didn't really make any mistakes. So I'm just going to give Asmir a standard 7 out of 10. I think that's the fairest way to do it, really, with Asmir. Into the back 3, start with Chris Mepham, as he has been a lot this season on that right side, and I like Meps a lot, but for me, that was one of his poorest games. Just didn't think he was at it. I remember the Cardiff game, he was at fault for their goal, but then the following game against Watford, he pops up with that late winner, and you're really pleased for him. And I just felt, there was a point in the first half where he did go down. I'm sure it was in the first half, and he looked to be feeling something. I hope that's nothing too serious, but I just wonder if that maybe had an impact, because I just didn't. Few late passes, I don't think he was quite on it for me, and I thought he looked very shaky, particularly in the first half. Not horrific, but not one of his best. So I'm just going to give Meps a 5 out of 10, which I think is fair. Just because we know we can do better now, and I think that's key. Just looking for the leader. We're talking about leaders, aren't we, at the moment, in the sense that our leader for the country is Boris Johnson. But you don't have to worry about a leader when you come to Bournemouth. We got Steve Cook, and epitomises the captain. Captain's performance again. He was unbelievable against Bristol City. Unbelievable. He was a rock. He stopped everything. He headed everything. He was brilliant. And again on Saturday, what a performance! And we all know what I'm going to refer to. That clearance on the line. I still am not sure which part of the body it hit. I was a bit worried for him actually, because he looked like he was in a bit of bother afterwards. Didn't look like he moved for a while, but luckily he got up and seemed okay. But that is block on the line that's got us a point. That's late on the way. We obviously scored late. It was actually just after that, and they're winning the game if Cookie don't do that. And it just doesn't surprise me when you see that book on the line. You know it's Cookie. What a centre half. What a player for this football club, to be fair. And I just love him, and I think in the Championship even more so. He's being looked at now. You know, we're talking about the likes of Frano, Sermon, Daniels have all kind of departed recently, and Cookie's one of the mainstays there. And it almost feels like he's loving that. He's loving that responsibility, and to really try and get the club back up. And he hasn't really put a foot wrong this season, to be fair. So he's, for me, got to be up there for man of the match. I probably would say he's my man of the match again. It's a similar story to the Bristol City game, in the sense that Cookie's probably our best player on the pitch, but a substitute's come and got the vital goal, which we'll talk about later. But 9 out of 10 for Steve Cook, can't argue with that in my opinion. Solid 9 out of 10 for the skipper. This was one of the changes we made in that kind of left centre-back position. We're not sure if Kelly was actually injured or he's come back from an injury recently, as we know, and whether he was just kind of left out for this one after playing a couple of games on the bounce. But I was relatively happy to see Diego come back in. I don't think he'd done anything wrong really to go out the side. But once again, he had played a few games in a row, so he was kind of rotated, which you've got to do this season. Another game on Tuesday, like we say, coming up. But Diego come in, and I've been happy with him in that left centre-back role when he was deputising for Lloyd Kelly. For me, it wasn't one of his best performances. He's almost raised that bar now in terms of performances and how good he's been. And I thought he looked a bit shaky as passing one quite on it. It wasn't the type of performance that Diego's been performing for us of late. Having said that, he pops up at the end with a vital assist, and I liked that about Jason. I mean, there's been a lot of talk about seeing fans, whether they like the 3 at the back system. Obviously, especially it's going to be talked about more that when we changed to the 4 to go for it, we got the leveller. So I understand that, appreciate that. But Diego actually went over to the left back role, if you like, in them latter parts, and he looks so much more comfortable, and he whips in a great ball for the equaliser. So for that alone, like I say, I probably would have given the same as Meps, but I'm going to up him to a 6 just because. Actually, no, I'm going to up him to a 7 because the fact of the matter is he's got an assist for a goal right at the end of the game, so he certainly deserves 7. Actually, I don't want to be too harsh. So 7 out of 10 for Diego Rico. Into the midfield, and obviously at the moment we're feeling the loss of Jeff Lerma in there. Hoping he's not too far away. I think Tuesday might be a little bit too soon for him, but if we can get him back for the weekend, next weekend maybe, I'll be pleased, because I do think it's quite noticeable at the moment. Without him, I'm just trying to look for Lewis Cook's name, and there he is. But yeah, Lewis stayed in there, and I thought he was good again. To be fair, I thought he was really good against Bristol City. I thought he was one of our better players again. Sometimes he tries sometimes he tries maybe a pass that's a bit too cute and might get caught out. But I like the fact that he's battling away and he's always trying to make something happen. I really like that about him. And he's always brave. He always wants to get on the ball, And I just think JT's really given him this role and this responsibility, which is in the last few games come on even more so with the fact that Lerma's not there. He is now our main man in the middle of the park. We were over-ordered there in the first half. Him and his partner Billing, that we'll come on to, struggled a little bit in that first period, but I thought the second half in particular, Lewis really took the game by the scruff of the neck and tried to make things happen. And I'm really impressed with him, and I genuinely believe if he keeps playing like this, he will be one of the top, if not the top midfielder in the division. To be fair, I think if we can keep him and obviously get Jeff back and keep them both fit, they're a hell of a partnership. Difficult one now that I gave Diego a 7, because I was going to give Lewis a 7, but I think he's clearly better than Diego. So I'm going to give him an 8 for that, because I've just been really impressed with Lewis lately, and it's good to see, because it's not been worrying, because we always know the ability Lewis has had, but it's almost been a bit concerning, like because of the injury, will he get back to what we know he can do? But I think we're slowly seeing it now, which is great. His partner was another change, which I expected really. Gosling come out and Billing come in. I felt with Lerma being injured, Lewis Cook would be the main man, and Gos and Billing would start getting rotated. So I was happy with that. Billing come in, and I actually thought against Watford he'd done okay. Not so much in this one. I thought he really struggled. First half, like I say, none of them were great in the first half, but he was all over the place. Second half, his passing wasn't great. He gave away some silly tackles. He got an early yellow card. it's just not happening for him. I mentioned it briefly in the start of the free-for-all with Sam after the game, that Billen's clearly a decent footballer. But he's not a defensive midfield player. He's not an attacking midfield player. He's not a box-to-box. He's not an all-action, energy type midfield player. I don't really know what he is. And that's a problem. And when you've got a player that, don't get me wrong, I think if you asked any centre midfielder, they'd probably rather play with two with them rather than one in a three-man midfield. But Philip Billen, when he's in a two, God, do you know it? And I feel like if we're going to play a two, even with Jeff out, then you just have to go Goz and Lewis, because I think you're carrying Billen too much. It's a shame, because I really want the lad to do well, and I think there is ability there. I just don't think it's going to happen here. I'm not sure. I'd love him to prove me wrong, but not a fan, unfortunately. And yeah, it's a shame, because we have had some decent performances from Billen, but it's too inconsistent. He's consistently inconsistent, in my opinion. I gave him up to 5, and he was worse, Billen, so I'm going to have to give him a 4. Seems harsh, but if you watch the game, I reckon most of you would agree with me. He was poor. In front of them, whether you say this lad was in behind the front two or he was kind of coming off the right, it was all very flexible, but it was junior STANISLAS. Unfortunately for him, he only played 45. JT said after the game that he was going to change it tactically. Whatever happened, it just made it easier which player to bring off, because Junior got that knock. As soon as you saw him going in for it, you thought, oh, here we go. That could be Junior out for a few weeks, but we'll see. Like I say, they were all poor in the first half. He only played the first half. He didn't really do a lot. I didn't think he was great in the week, actually. And I'm a big fan of Junior. I think he offers so much. And I think in this league, he can provide bits of magic. And he's a clever footballer. We all know it's fitness issues that has hampered him all the way throughout his career. But having said that, I think he's managed to start 2 games this week. And I don't think he's been great. So yeah, only played in that opening 45. Didn't do an awful lot wrong, but didn't get involved in the game enough. Hope he's all right, though, obviously, and available for the next game. But yeah, I probably wouldn't start him whether he was fit or not for the next game, regardless. But I'll go with a 5 out of 10 for Junior. I don't want to be too critical, seeing as he can't from an injury. In terms of the player on the other side, all kind of up centrally, just in them attacking positions, I'm just trying to find his name, was the hero from the week, Arnaud Danjuma. This was an interesting one for me, because I thought, like I keep saying, first half everyone was poor, but I thought Arnie was he was awful. I don't know what was happening. You know, he's such a good player, and I said during the game, I said he's in danger here of Jason thinking, you know what, maybe he's just a good impact. He's just really good off the bench. You don't want that behind you. You don't want to have that super sub tag. You know, it might sound nice, but it means you ain't going to start too many games. I think the key thing was that when we're chasing a goal, we've got a lot of attacking players on the bench. We kept him on, and like I say, he was playing poorly, but I didn't want him to come off, because you know you've got a bit of magic in Arnie. And I've got to say, in that last 20 minutes of the game, he started showing signs. You think that's why we've left him on the pitch. You know, he suddenly sparked into life. Whether it was the subs that came on, you know, helped him out and backed him up a little bit. But just for that last 20 minutes alone, we were really pushing him. We needed things to happen. He suddenly got a grip on the game. So credit to him for that, because he wouldn't have been happy with his first kind of hour or so of the game. But because he sparked into life at the end, I'm just going to up it a little bit. But Arnie set the standards now. He set the bar high. He's a talented footballer, and he should be playing better than he did yesterday, for more than 15, 20 minutes or so. So I'm only going to give Arnie a 6. But credit to him for stepping up at the end of the game, and I still love Arnie always. And the front man, the man that's spoke about an awful lot, is obviously DOMINIC SOLANKE. Once again, another game without a goal. I really just wanted to put the ball in the net. He did have a good chance. Keeper tipped over. He's working his socks off. I really do like what Dom gives to the team. He connects things well. He's always working hard. And I don't want to say working hard. It sounds like working hard. Oh yeah, you got to do more than that, professional footballer. I understand that. You should expect that should be the minimum requirement, is to work hard. So I'm trying to find another way for it. So that's why I say that he connects things well. So I think if I was a Arnaud Danjuma or Josh King, I'd love to play alongside Dom SOLANKE, because he does the nitty-gritty, the hard work. He occupies defenders. Unfortunately, he's just not looking that lethal in front of goal, and he hasn't really come out the side yet, in the sense that when he was kind of rested for a game against Watford, he had to come on early because of Lerma's injury. So he come on quite early in the game, so he hasn't really seen that rest. I do wonder if now we've got Kingy available, obviously Arnie, Surridge is still there. You know, I said earlier, speaking to someone, I said, if I was Sam Surridge, I'd be banging on Jason's door and kind of saying, can you give me a couple of games? Give me a couple of games in a row, and I'll show you that I'm the man that will change these chances from being missed and put them in the back of the net for you. I almost feel like if Surridge ain't getting the chance now, when will he? In that sense. But having said that, I'm still happy with how Dom's. I think he's doing okay. It's just a shame that the ball went in the net for him. But like I say, I thought overall he was okay. I'm actually going to give him 7. I thought Dom was okay. I'm not going to be too critical on Dom. As much as it'll be easy to. I've just realised I've gone through the whole team there and haven't done the wing backs, which is just brilliant. I've just gone central. So we're going to the wing backs now, which was Jack Stacey on the right hand side, and Jack's being really consistent. I think he never really lets you down. He's always up and back. He's non-stop. Getting better defensively and always a threat going forward. I don't think he's had the best week. I don't think he's, like I say again, them standards have been raised, but he's still been decent. He obviously come off in the game, which I actually thought was, I don't think anyone would have really predicted Stacey to be the man to come off when we chucked on another attacking option. They worked quite well. It put Smithy over to his natural side on the right, and like I mentioned, it put Diego to the left where he ended up getting an assist from. But Jack didn't last down. I'm going to give Jack a 7 out of 10. Always happy with Jack, to be honest. And seeing as we've gone from strikers to wing backs, so what's happened now, I've got the new audio sorted, so I've just lost my head a little bit. But why not? Let's go to the wing backs at the end. Let's mix it up. Adam Smith on the left. Thought Smith had a poor first half, like everyone did. He was a lot better second half. As I say, you know what you're going to get from Smithy. He's going to win fouls. He's going to draw defenders on. He's going to be tireless throughout. But I didn't think it was a good one for Smithy. Big fan, but I didn't think it was one of his better games, to be honest. It just didn't quite happen for him. But you always know, like I say, you always know what you're going to get from Smithy. I never think you're going to get a horrific performance, as much as people might say differently. I feel like he gets a bit of criticism just for the fact that he's not left-footed and he's playing on that left-hand side. But I like Smithy, but it wasn't one of his better games got on there. So I'm only going to give Smithy a 6 out of 10 for Adam Smith. Substitutes. Obviously, like I said, Junior was bought off at half-time, and we chucked on Joshy King, only here for the season King, and he caused problems. We definitely look better with him up there. I think, to be honest, when you got someone like Josh King, even if he doesn't do a lot, you look better because it worries the opposition. They think, well, I know what this guy's about. Do you know what I mean? Keep an eye. That opens other areas up for the team. I thought Josh done all right when he come on. We were a lot better when Josh King come on the pitch, and that can't be all coincidence. Do you know what I mean? Still, obviously, a lot more to come from Josh, and got a sneaky feeling we're going to see his first goal in the week. Just a little tip for you there. But yeah, I'm going to give Josh King a 7 out of 10. Thought he done well when he come off the bench. Brooksy, great to have him back in it. Great to have Brooksy available and good to unleash him. And as I said with Kingy, it scares the opposition. And Brooks just looked creative, looked that spark. Was impressed with Brooksy when he come on. Like I say, he didn't come on for a long period, but still got to give him a 7 because I thought Brooksy was very good indeed. And it's great to have him back. And I can't wait to see more of him. Roro. Oh, I'm so pleased for him. Absolutely chuffed. We've seen little bits and we thought, looks like a player, but it's been hard to judge him too much really on his little cameos. But credit to him, he come on again, had a bit of spark about him, and what a finish. Really good finish from his fellow Spaniard. Diego's ball in, he caught it right on the volley and straight into the bottom corner. I was absolutely chuffed for him. Be interested to see if he gets a few more minutes now. What I will say is, you got that experience in like Dan Gosling on the substitutes bench. You've got Sammy Surridge, who's obviously got minutes, and JT decided to bring Roro on, and I think that says a lot in that we believe that he can impact the game, and he certainly did that with a goal. So a bit like in the week, Arnie coming off the bench and scoring late, Roro come off the bench and scored late, and I think that's something that's going to be key for us. I think in the Championship, I think there's a lot of good teams, but we got the squad. I mean, you've seen that, the way we can change a game. We brought David Brooks, Josh King and Rodrigo Riquelme off the bench. I mean, it's pretty special, and like I say, we're missing various players as well. Lloyd Kelly, Jefferson Lerma, still got Carter Vickers to come in, so it's really exciting. But in terms of Roro, can't say a lot else. He come on the pitch and he got the goal, so 9 out of 10 minimum for that alone. Chuff for Roro. But yeah, that's it for the player ratings. I'm going to try and do a little manager one at the end, actually, like a manager rating in terms of the team selection and adapting during the game. I think JT deserves an 8. team selection is really, really difficult to read too much into. I've said this before. The amount of games we've got, and we don't know behind the scenes the different fitness levels. You know, I still feel sometimes, like the Lloyd Kelly one, for instance, we weren't told he was actually out injured. And I wonder if after the last game he said, Lloyd, can you give us a game on Wednesday night? All right, and we'll give you the rest on Saturday. I almost think you've got to preempt it sometimes because of the amount of games, and we've got to rotate and we've got to keep everyone fresh. And we've got players like Lloyd Kelly, like Junior Stanislas, like Arnaud Danjuma, like David Brooks that pick up injuries, and we've got to be mindful of that, and we've got to use the squad well. And I think so far JT's done that. And to be fair, there will always be people that say should have done it earlier. Well, yeah, it's easy to say that in hindsight, but the fact of the matter is his subs were brilliant. In the week, his sub come on and got the winner. Yesterday, sub come on and got the leveller. So you got to give him credit for that. He changed the game well, and liking what JT's doing at the moment. Trust the process and all that. You know, and yeah, we've drawn a lot of games, and it hasn't been amazing to watch lately, especially this week. It hasn't been good. We got 4 points out of it though. We haven't lost, which is just. I know there's a lot of draws in there, but we haven't lost a football match. And in the Championship, a league where anyone could beat anyone, which was really evident on Friday night when Coventry went and hit Reading 3-2. It was unbelievable. So, got to give us credit for that. The character shown with so many late goals now as well is key, and shows that the boys are fighting to the end, and also shows them fitness levels as well to go right to the end. What I will say is we've been relegated. We've lost key players. We've lost Eddie, and we're doing all right, you know. We're doing all right, and I think there's more to come from this team. So I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to Tuesday. Like I say, I hope this audio has come to you so much fresher, so much more beautiful to listen to. I will be getting a guest back for, you'll probably see it on Wednesday. Remember Tuesday, Sheffield Wednesday, which will be an interesting game. Really interesting. I think they're hard to judge because of obviously the minus points. If they want for that, they probably have a different team and a different mindset, etc., etc. So that'll be an interesting game. I think wherever they are, if you're playing a big team like Sheffield Wednesday, it'll be difficult. Interested to see the team and see how we get on. And like I say, I will have a guest on for that one. Just wanted to test this audio and stuff, and wanted to get this one out here. So just stuck with me. Thanks again. Any feedback, as I always say, my Twitter will be down below at TomJordan21. If you can't get in touch with me any other way, just whack me a private message on there if you are interested in coming on for one of the player rating shows or whatever. Try to keep positive. Obviously, we've heard from Boris that we're going to be going into another lockdown, so keep talking to each other. I think we saw with the back of the net, big thanks to Sam and everyone really involved in back of the net, we saw how crucial it was during that first lockdown. You know, when we had no football, at least we're going to have football this time. We had no football. We had some great interviews, which I was pleased to be involved in with ex-players. And I think we've done with this podcast with Sam. You know, Sam's great hard work behind the scenes and stuff as well. I say behind the scenes, he's always on the camera, isn't he? We've really kept that family feel. Do you know what I mean? And I know so many Bournemouth fans through like this, through the podcast, through Twitter, through social media and stuff like that, and I may not have even seen them in person, and we've got to keep that up. Another lockdown, so let's keep talking to each other, let's keep football close, and let's use football to stay positive and to talk with one another, and you know, keep positive. And at the end of the day, we're up there in the table, we ain't lost the game, and that's keeping me happy somewhat. But yeah, as I say, chuck me a DM if you want to be involved, and also if you just want to have a chat about football or chat about anything really, especially during this time. So that'll be brilliant. Also go on Cherries Talking as well, Talking Cherries on Twitter as well, which I'm involved in. That's brilliant, and we're going to be trying. I've been told I've got to help out here with this, doing a walk, doing lots of steps. Got to get 1 million steps, I think, by Christmas. So for charity. So we're going to be doing that, but I think, you know, it works well. You're going to be doing exercise to try and raise money for mental health, and exercise does a lot for your mental health. So really looking forward to that. And like I say, thanks again. Keep the feedback coming, and up the cherries.